Episode 10, Ashes in the Crucible, is the descent into the heart of the machine, the aftermath of the capture, the line between rage and ruin. This is the episode where CinderVox resists the hand's extraction. Ghost Arrow dances with Renscale. Matrixx traces the Crucible's coordinates. Threadbinder risks unraveling himself, and Scarab begins the hunt that defines the rest of the season.
Neon drips on rusted chrome. The law's gone home, I'm all alone.
Even in Nelton Ectitor, the storm takes a pause. Stay sharp, we'll be back after this signal break.
A signal. Drift on full frequency.
It's dark in here, but I'm still listening.
Welcome back. The signal burns on.
Recovered fragment.
Red Neon Justice. The Signal Dramas.
You're now tuned to Red Neon Justice, Episode 10, Ashes in the Crucible. Intro static, faint choir reversed, heavy machine pulse fades in like a beating heart wrapped in metal. The Crucible hums beneath Nelton Ectitor, a cathedral of circuitry and pain. Red light pours down steel corridors like blood through veins. Somewhere inside, a green flame still flickers, refusing to go out. CinderVox motif, ember heartbeat, fading in and out under metallic percussion. Prologue, the extraction order, control room ambience, flickering monitors, coal-dripping pipes. Agent Varen stands over a console. On the central display, CinderVox glows weakly inside a restraint frame. Technicians move around her like surgeons over a star. Open quote, Varen. Begin transfer. I want her flame unthreaded and stored before dawn. Close quote. The archive host watches silently, her screen face fractured, cycling through ghosts of emotions. Open quote. She will not yield cleanly, the host murmurs. Then she'll yield dirty, Varen replies. Close quote. Mechanical whine builds, scream muffled behind static glass. Scene 1. The gale's descent. Soft wind, dripping tunnels, Scarab's boots echo. The Red Scarab leads the signal gale through an abandoned metro shaft, lit only by Threadbinder's cyan glyphs. Each glyph flutters like a moth before dissolving into static threads. Open quote, Matrixx, checking her wrist projector. The Crucible's deeper than I thought. Its coordinates shift every 60 seconds. Threadbinder, the hand rewrites its position every time it sins. Ghost Arrow, gritting his teeth. Then we break their pattern. Close quote. The group halts at a fork, a dead end on the left, an elevator shaft on the right. Scarab presses a gloved hand to the wall. The surface vibrates faintly with residual energy. Open quote, Scarab, she's still burning. Ghost Arrow, then I'm still breathing. Close quote, ding, signal gale motif, low drums rolling into tight, urgent rhythm. Scene 2, inside the Crucible. Low drone, hissing pipes, subdued heartbeat. CinderVox floats in the extraction rig, suspended by bands of red energy. Each pulse steals a fragment of her light and feeds it into an enormous reactor core. The chamber glows sickly pink. The archive host steps forward. Her screen displays two faces, one calm, one screaming. Open quote, you're an anomaly of the signal, she says. Your flame carries memory. CinderVox, it carries choice. Close quote. She clenches her fists. Sparks crawl over her skin. For every piece of her energy stolen, she steals something back. Sound. The air around her fills with faint echoes, laughter, whispers, names the hand erased. Open quote, archive host, stop. Can't. You gave me your network. Close quote. The containment field trembles. Ember overload motif, distorted choral hum rising into static. Scene 3. Rage rising. Tunnel ambience, echoing metallic clanks, low guttural breathing. Ghost Arrow rides the elevator cables down by hand, muscles trembling. His carmine markings glow brighter with every meter. Open quote, Threadbinder. Control your pulse. The red will take you if you don't anchor. Ghost Arrow. I am the anchor. Close quote, a hiss. His arrowheads spark red lightning. His breath quickens. Vision narrows. He sees flickers, monstrous scales under his skin, claws forming from light. The edge of Ren scale pressing against his humanity. He drops into a loading bay, eyes burning. Open quote, I'm coming, Vox. Close quote, Ren scale motif. Distorted drum hits and low guttural bass growl layered beneath heartbeat. Scene 4. Threadbinder's price. Static tension. Ethereal strings bending out of tune. Above, Threadbinder holds the weave that keeps their path hidden. Cyan threads stretch from his hands like webs of lightning. Each tremor of the crucible strains the pattern. Every shake costs him something. Open quote, Matrixx, you're unraveling yourself. Truth is a loop. I'm just skipping forward. Close quote. One thread snaps. His breath hitches. A faint trickle of memory leaves him. He ties it back together, his own name lost to the knot. Sting Threadbinder motif, single taiko strike fading into wind. Scene 5. Scarab's infiltration. Mechanical doors sliding, alarms distant, soft electric hum. The Red Scarab moves alone through ventilation shafts. Below him, drones patrol rows of glowing reactors filled with bottled flame, the stolen lights of erased rebels. He lowers a microline, descends behind a technician. A quick strike, silent. The body slumps. He takes the ID badge, scans it against the next door. Open quote, welcome, hand employee 5473, the system chirps. Close quote, open quote, Scarab, under his breath, not for long. Close quote. Inside the main corridor, he finds it. Vault 9, Ember Extraction. He grips the handle and twists, sound of air rushing out, blinding flare of green light. Scene 6. The crucible burns, alarms rushing flame, metal creak, everything happens at once. CinderVox screams, the last of the containment field shatters. Green fire floods the room. The archive host's screen face fractures again, static pouring out like smoke. Her voice splits into two, one mechanical, one human. Open quote, signal, incomplete. Let it burn. CinderVox says, eyes blazing. Close quote, Ghost Arrow crashes through the upper skylight, landing between her and the host. His skin glows red hot, the outline of Ren scale shimmering through. Open quote, move Vox, not without the others. Then let's take the roof. Close quote. He draws his bow, the string now a beam of molten light, and fires upward. The arrow explodes into a hole through the ceiling, raining molten debris. Signal Gale battle motif. Combined percussive signatures, fast tempo. Scarab storms in, grabbing CinderVox's arm. Open quote, we've got to go. The whole sector's waking up. Threadbinder and Matrixx rush in seconds later, cyan and magenta flooding the smoke. Close quote, they move as one. Threadbinder loops a protective weave over them. Matrixx disrupts cameras and doors. Ghost Arrow holds back soldiers with precise, savage fire. CinderVox lights the path. Scene 7, the escape. Tunnel collapse. Wind rushing, static arcs. They run through collapsing corridors. Behind them, the crucible implodes, collapsing inward under the weight of its own lies. CinderVox glances back, the green glow receding. Open quote, that's one less cage, she says. And one louder signal, Matrixx replies. Close quote. At the tunnel's end, the group bursts through a maintenance hatch and out into the rain. Steam rises where CinderVox's heat meets the downpour. Ghost Arrow staggers, half-conscious, marking still glowing red. Threadbinder kneels beside him, binding the energy into a knot that fades to calm crimson. Open quote. Ren scale sleeps again, he says softly. Close quote. Soft rain ambience, thunder rolling far. Scene 8, the host's reflection. Quiet hum, broken glass crackling, cooling metal. Deep in the ruins of the crucible, the archive host stirs. Her screen face is dark on one side, the other half flickers with the image of the muralith. She reaches up, touching the crack with curiosity. Open quote. Truth survived extraction, she whispers. So did I. Close quote. Her reflection glows faintly white, not hand red. Epilogue. The rooftop, rain easing, gentle hum of the city, distant thunder. The signal Gale regroups on a rooftop overlooking the wreckage. CinderVox sits wrapped in a blanket, steam still rising from her. Scarab stands watch at the edge, coat dripping, eyes on Tower 88's distant glow. Matrixx projects new data, a pulse pattern repeating from the tower's base. Open quote, they'll rebuild. The hand always rebuilds. Then we tear faster, Scarab says. Close quote. Threadbinder nods quietly, tightening the weave around them. Ghost Arrow's bow hums faintly beside him, still warm. A single white butterfly drifts through the rain, landing for a moment on CinderVox's shoulder before vanishing in light. Cue Muralith motif, ethereal strings rising into silence. Closing narration, soft percussion like rain on glass, faint whispering echoes of fire. Open quote. In the heart of the machine, a flame refused to die. Rage nearly devoured mercy. Memory nearly broke its weaver, but together they walked out of hell with fire still in hand. The hand calls it damage. The signal calls it dawn. Close quote. Fade to silence. Brief time. End card. Red Neon Justice, Episode 10. Ashes in the Crucible. The ashes rise as glowing dust. One particle catches light, forms a butterfly shape, then flickers out into static.
Tonight's broadcast of Red Neon Justice is fueled by the finest static-tested sponsors across the Scarabverse. First, raise a glass of Unicorn Piss, the only neon energy drink guaranteed to glow brighter than the hand's billboard. Cleanse the air with Aphelion incense. Drift your mind beyond the static, one ember at a time. Hungry? Dig into a bowl of Blue Mac, the blue macaroni and cheese that melts your mind and binds your glyphs. Need a playset for the rebels in training? Young Rockstar's Bedroom Breakdown delivers the noise, the toys, and the neon-lit chaos right to your living room. And when you need your project cut sharper than a neon whip, trust Tape Deck TV. Editing and graphics starting at just $88. Serious projects only. Always Signal approved. These are the brands keeping the justice red, the signal burning, and the story alive.
Let's step back into the signal.